KSAT 12. The Nightbeat starts right now.
Search no more. COVID tests and masks are hard to find, but we just found an easy way for you to get some, and we're going to show you how.
And while we're on the subject of COVID, the virus has affected so much, including whether some people are allowed to stay in the country. We're going to tell you more coming up. But first, a first in history, the American Red Cross declaring a nationwide blood crisis. The thing is, our area has been short before, but it's always relied on other partners in the state of Texas.
Until now, because that lifeline is no longer in play, and that's because supplies are low pretty much everywhere. And as the night team's Lee Waldman reports, the issue has life-threatening consequences.
Cake.
You like cake? What kind of cake do you like to bake?
I bake velvet, chocolate.
Mia Perez is a beautiful 8-year-old girl who likes to bake with her mom and play Minecraft with her siblings. She's also battling a rare form of leukemia.
It attacks the bone marrow. So she needed blood right away, and then that never stopped.
Mia's mom, Teresa, is one of many who are on edge after hearing our blood shortage has reached a critical level nationwide.
The biggest fear is just her not being able to continue her treatment.
Dr. Leslie Grebon is the medical director of University Hospital's transfusion services. In her 10 years in the field, she's never been more worried about what this means for patients.
We're going to get to the point where we're not going to have enough for them or the people who are massively bleeding. And that's scary, because then that's acute life-threatening things that are going to end up killing the patient.
The majority of their blood comes from their own blood center.
We are consistently running at 50% or below our critical inventory level. So we're in the red. We are in a danger area.
If they turn to the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center, they would be competing with other hospitals across South Texas and the condition of their patient in the hospital.
It'll come down to me having discussions with physicians about what is the prognosis of your patient. If this is a horrible bleeding patient, are they likely to survive? If not, I can't waste resources on this patient.
Tonight, we're hovering around a 2-day supply of blood and half a day supply of O-positive blood from the STBTC. Normally, that center can ask for help from other blood banks, but not anymore.
With this nationwide blood crisis, there is no one to help move that blood from another state or another city.
The Red Cross is reporting a 10% drop in donors, a fact that needs to change so children battling cancer like Mia can keep getting the treatment she needs.
Just try it one time and think about the person that you're really helping out. You're not just helping the patient, but you're helping the whole family get through something really tough.
Now, part of what's leading to this crisis is the rise in Omicron cases. So far, 8 blood drives with the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center have been canceled. Those blood drives could have supplied around 400 donations. With the nationwide crisis where it is right now, Dr. Grebon says we can't go on even another month like this.
All right, so Lee, we have a question for you now. Obviously, this is a crisis. How do we turn things around? You say that people have 2 options if they want to help?
2 very, very simple options. I want you to take a look at your screen right now. You can donate directly to University Hospital by scheduling a donation online at donatebloodtoday.com, or you can give them a call. It's 210-358-2812, or you can schedule a donation with the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center. Simply go to southtexasblood.org, or of course give them a call at 210-731-5590. If you want to come to our website, KSAT.com, we have resources there where you can sign up to be a life-saving blood donor. Live outside the medical center, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
Lee, thank you. And here's another option for everyone out there. This weekend, you can go to a community blood drive. The South Texas Blood and Tissue Center is holding it. It's happening at the AT&T Center on Saturday from 8:30 to 1:30. And here's the thing. You may want to show up early because there are quite a few incentives. The first 400 donors are going to get 2 free Spurs tickets, a coupon for a free pint of ice cream, a T-shirt, and a $10 value in donor rewards. Lots of goodies.
Well, today, the highest one-day case count in Bexar County since the pandemic began. The rise in hospitalizations also continuing among COVID-19 patients. We now have 958 people in local hospitals with the virus. There are 201 COVID patients in intensive care, 79 on ventilators. Tonight, Metro Health confirms 3 more deaths. Another 7,700 new cases confirmed today. Again, that's the highest one-day count since the pandemic began. All right, picking up one of those at-home COVID tests or a high-quality mask is not as easy as just going to the store. And in some cases, prices are going up.
It's a lot to take on, but here's the good news. We found a way to track those prices online and get those masks and kit tests quickly from an app. The Night Team's John Paul Barajas explains.
San Antonio and surrounding counties are seeing spikes in daily COVID case counts because of the highly infectious Omicron variant. It has convenient at-home tests and higher quality face masks flying off shelves, making these sold-out signs a common sight for those out shopping.
I went to a couple different CVS's and Walgreens, and they were out of stock. We kind of missed seeing our parents on Christmas Eve and had to wait till the next day to get tested.
Do you have any in stock at home right now, as of this point?
No, we don't. We actually don't. We couldn't find any.
Infectious disease specialist Dr. Ruth Berggren explained with Omicron, cloth masks simply aren't enough, and why the demand for KN95 and N95 masks are up.
If you find yourself in a close crowd like that, you better have your mask on. And it should be a really good mask, like a KN95 or an N95 mask, or at the very least, a surgical mask.
While we couldn't find those KN95 masks, stores still had plenty of surgical masks. We didn't have any luck finding COVID-19 tests, but staff at one Walgreens on Hildebrand and San Pedro said they expect a shipment this Friday and Saturday, but believe they'll be wiped out in the afternoon. Luckily, we did find some availability online with same-day delivery. I got this at-home test at my front door in about 45 minutes. Now, I use the app GoPuff, but we also found availability on Amazon. Check it out. You will still find some say temporarily out of stock, but there's plenty of options to look through. The prices, however, do vary. To avoid overpaying, you can use the website camelcamelcamel.com, which monitors prices. It shows a third-party vendor increased prices for this pack of KN95 masks from $30 in October to just under $80 today. This at-home test at its peak was around $35. Today, $24.88.
We test ourselves actually every 2 weeks. We keep about eight of them in stock. And we usually order every 2 weeks.
And starting Saturday, January 16th, the government will be helping with the burden of the cost. They've stated insurance companies will cover up to 8 at-home tests per person. John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
In case you missed the site that John Paul was talking about, GoPuff, the name of the site where he got that COVID test. Well, tomorrow we're going to find out the future of our electric bills. City Council set to vote on a rate hike that would raise your bill by about $5 on average. It would be the first increase in 8 years for San Antonio. CPS Energy says it's needed to keep technology up to date and protect the infrastructure while keeping up with growth. The vote also comes nearly 1 year after many in San Antonio left in the dark during February's winter storm. Some council members have also called for an audit of the utility.
Tonight, so many questions about how a woman accused of leaving 2 toddlers tied up home alone got those kids in the first place. So this case, it's familiar to you because we told you about it on Sunday afternoon. That's when the officers with the San Antonio Police Department went into the home in the southeast part of the city and inside found a toddler girl with her wrists and ankles tied and a toddler boy trapped in a playpen. Police say that those kids were alone, even though Patricia Ann Salais was supposed to be taking care of them. She had temporary custody of the kids. The thing is, she has a criminal record dating all the way back to 2002. She'd been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, but according to Bexar County court records, those charges were dismissed. Now, we've been asking CPS why those charges didn't keep her from getting custody of the toddlers in the first place. Right now, Salais is charged with child endangerment, and she is expected back in court later this month. Now, new tonight, we are learning that a former San Antonio Park police officer is accused of tweaking his paperwork in order to get another job. So first, police arrested David Garcia for a family violence case. Then he resigned from the Park Police Department. After that, he was put on probation for interfering with an emergency phone call. And during that time, investigators say that he changed paperwork to get a job with another law enforcement agency. So right now, he's charged with tampering with a government record, which, by the way, is a felony.
Have you registered to vote yet? The deadline only about 2 weeks away if you want to have a hand in picking your party's candidate for several races, including governor. This comes after legislators passed a law restricting with stricter voter restrictions. The bill outlaws drive-through voting, loosens restrictions for partisan poll watchers while adding restrictions for mail-in ballots. Right now, groups like the Black Freedom Factory and Move Texas are focused on making sure voters know they have until January 31st to register for the upcoming election.
People are really in the forefront of the movement to protect our democracy here in Texas and across the country.
It's really important that voters know that that card is the political autonomy that they have for their freedom, for their voice, and for the future of democracy.
The Southwest Voter Registration Education Project says in 18-year-olds alone, there are 230,000 new people eligible to vote in Texas every year. The new voting law in Texas, one reason the Biden administration is pushing to pass voting rights legislation for the country. The president set to sit down with Senate Democrats to discuss ways to pass that legislation.
Gonna feel a chill in the air first thing tomorrow morning when you step outside. Right now we're at 43 degrees, dew point of 34, so dry air in place, but temperatures cooling off efficiently. Upper 30s for most of us in the morning in the hill country. A few brief freezes here and there and a light freeze. We're gonna talk about temperature swings and some gusty winds that are gonna greet us with our next cold front in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. The Silver and Black back at home at the AT&T Center tonight. Our Greg Simmons with the battle between the Spurs and the Rockets coming up.
Also seeking asylum. Not too long ago, thousands of people wanted it as they waited along the border in Del Rio. But what goes into the process, and is it different for families versus individuals? That's the story that we're diving into, and it's next on the Nightbeat.
Just the mention of the word can be divisive. Immigration. It's often named among the issues that voters care most about.
But we all know the system can be confusing. Now, this week, KSAT Explains is releasing a brand new episode that's focused on what it means to claim asylum in this country and how the pandemic has complicated things.
Here's Myra Arthur with a look at KSAT Explains Seeking Asylum.
First thing to know, a person has to be physically present in the United States to seek asylum here.
An asylum seeker might present at a port of entry without paperwork and say, I need protection, I want to apply for asylum. Many asylum seekers also cross the river and essentially turn themselves in.
Which is what we saw play out in Del Rio in September 2021. If someone is seeking asylum in the U.S., the first step is what's called a credible fear interview. That's when an asylum officer decides whether a person merits going through the full asylum process. Border Patrol is supposed to detain someone who gets referred for that interview.
Detention looks different if you're in a family unit or if you're just in an adult who's alone.
For those not detained, who are often families, they're told to report to the closest Immigration and Customs office to where they'll be staying. That's typically with friends or family who are already in the U.S. As for how long the asylum application process could take, it varies, but often it takes years. The immigration court system was backlogged long before COVID, but the pandemic made the problem worse, with immigration court closures and postponed court hearings. The pandemic also led to the authorization of a little-known provision in federal law that has essentially shut out migrants wanting to apply for asylum. In March of 2020, then-President Donald Trump invoked Title 42. The public health law allows the federal government to ban people or goods from entering the U.S. to prevent the spread of disease, in this case, COVID-19.
And so under that authority, a directive was issued essentially saying we are not going to process people who want to request asylum.
Instead, migrants are fingerprinted and then expelled from the country.
It does have a real effect on real people who who have merit for wanting to apply for asylum, who have actually had something really bad happen to them, or they're fleeing, and returning could mean that they die or somebody else dies.
Between March 2020 and September 2021, 1.4 million people were forced to leave the U.S. under Title 42. That's out of 2.5 million people that CBP encountered crossing the southern border. So what has the reaction been to Title 42? And when is the Biden administration expected to stop using it? We answer those questions in this very episode. And here's how you can watch. Get your phone out and scan the QR code you see here on your screen. That will take you to the extended version of KSAT Explains Seeking Asylum. And to watch all past episodes of KSAT Explains, go to ksat.com/explains. So now we're going to take things outside. Our live cam right here, which is where, Steve?
This is over downtown. You can see the Hilton off in the distance there with the Christmas tree shape still on it.
We're still not ready to give it up.
I'm going to tell myself that's just an arrow pointing up at the sky right now.
This is true. This is true.
Maybe it's the 12th.
Yeah, it's true.
There you go.
So
I don't mind it.
I know it's
still colorful. It's crisp outside. So,
there you go. You know, we have had a roller coaster though.
That's right. It's going to continue the crispness, Steve. AC,
Yes.
we did there.
Yes.
God, it's rubbing off on me.
I know.
Before we jump into our temperature swings, our next cold front, I want to talk about our weatherversary that we have today. On this day back in 1985, 13.5 inches at the International Airport, officially in town. The big Texas snowstorm and really pummeled our portion of Texas here, especially right along Highway 90 and as you get up into Uvalde and northern Uvalde and parts of Real counties. Also, it's a legitimate anniversary for some of our viewers on this day.
I love that picture.
This is my favorite. Thomas and Betty Rivera. What a memorable wedding. More than just their wedding, but everything to go around it with the snowstorm is such a unique setup and situation. And things look beautiful with a nice blanket of snow on top of them. So I'm sure it made for plenty more good photos. So happy anniversary and happy weatherversary to everybody. 42 this morning, 63 the high temperature, pretty much right on par. Bulverde 37, Bernie at 37 right now. We're dipping down into the 30s in some locations, but still in the 40s east of I-35. I want to show you the colder air to the north. It's not that much colder, but this is what's going to be headed southward. Right now, their temperatures are in the 30s and actually have been above freezing all day today. Still above freezing, Bismarck and Minneapolis. We're going to tap into some slightly cooler air in Canada. That's going to plunge southward. Thursday and Friday will be in the 70s. Cooler air makes it here for Saturday and Sunday. So we'll go from the 70s Thursday and Friday down into the upper 50s for highs by Saturday and Sunday. So not a drastic drop, but noticeable, and we're not talking about any frigid air anytime soon. I think the biggest headline with that cold front will be the winds. You won't notice them tomorrow and Friday, but by Saturday, wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour. Quiet across the state right now. No weather makers headed our way. Nothing but sunshine tomorrow. Nothing but sunshine every day through this whole forecast period into next week. The headline, though, is the wind on Saturday, 45 miles per hour, that a light freeze as we get into Sunday morning.
Yeah, hold on to your hats.
So I'm looking at that and I'm saying, okay, this looks pretty comfortable here back home, but not everything is sweet at home. The Spurs are not saying that right now.
No, because Dorothy would agree there's no place like home for the Spurs. That's not the case now, even though DeJounte Murray had a career night and they got some people off the COVID reserve list. It just didn't happen against their I-10 rivals, the Houston Rockets. And we come back more about that. And Micah Parsons says when it comes to the 49ers, he's not going to be bullied. We'll explain coming up. Spurs back in the AT&T Center, ready to face Houston Rockets tonight. Good news for the Silver and Black before tip-off. Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell are back off the COVID list with Derek White still unavailable. The Rockets got out to a fast start, building as much as a 12-point lead before the Spurs get going. Jacques Landale comes up with a steal, gets it ahead of Devin Vassell, takes it back for the bucket and the foul, part of an 8-0 run. The Houston lead is trimmed to 4. Final seconds of the first is Forbes from the corner. That 3 gets the Spurs within 3, 39-36. Houston going to the second now. Spurs take their first lead of the game when Bryn Forbes connects connects for this 6-3 of the first half, 61-59. Spurs in the quarter on a 20-7 run. Murray gets the layup with less than 2 seconds in the half. Spurs up by 4, 67-63 at the break. Watch Lonnie Skywalker, the fourth right here. He gets the dish from DeJounte and the throws down the huge jam, part of an 8-0 run to help build a 9-point Spurs lead. But the Rockets close on a 13-4 run and take a 1-point lead going to the fourth. Spurs down 7th, under a minute to go. DeJounte knocks down the 3 to make it a 4-point game with 29 seconds to go. 19 of his 32 coming in the fourth. The 32 points is a new career high, where the Rockets make their free throws down the stretch and the Spurs fall 128-124.
First quarter killed us, got us in the hole, and, we had to fight up out of it. So, they pushed the ball, they pushed the pace as we expected, and we just got to start the game better.
All right, homestand continues on Friday, 7:30 against the Cavaliers. The agent for All-Star guard Ben Simmons met with members of the Philadelphia 76ers management team today, but the two sides are no closer to a resolution of Simmons' future. According to ESPN, Clutch Sports CEO Rich Paul met with the Sixers Director of Basketball Operations Daryl Morey and General Manager Elton Brand to see if they could end the stalemate and get him back on the court, if not in Philadelphia, but somewhere else. Spurs have been mentioned as a possible landing zone, but the Sixers' asking price, which would give Philly a chance to compete for an NBA championship, is just too high. Paul told the Sixers that Simmons' mental health will not allow him to return to play in Philly, and his trade demands are still in place.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Everyone is back at practice today for the Dallas Cowboys, who are in health and safety protocols for the most part, including star rookie linebacker Micah Parsons, cornerbacks Anthony Brown and Trayvon Diggs, although Diggs missed the season finale in Philly due to illness. Left tackle Tyron Smith is also out of the NFL's health and safety protocols, but was listed as limited in practice today due to his knee and ankle injury. Parsons revealed today he was able to have lunch with future Hall of Famer DeMarcus Ware to get some playoff tips. But listen what the rookie had to say when told that the Niners offense likes to play bully ball.
I'm from Harrisburg, where the bullies get bullied, you know what I'm saying? So, there's a bully in every gym, there's a bully everywhere you go. But at one point, it's going to take someone to stand up and, and fight. And I ain't never backed down from a challenge, so I would never say you can bully a line, ever.
There you go. Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn is preparing for his head-to-head battle on Sunday with his former offensive coordinator in Atlanta, now San Francisco head coach Kyle Shanahan. At the same time, Quinn's name is being mentioned in Denver about becoming the Broncos' new head coach. But he also helped Cowboys offensive coordinator Kellen Moore prepare for his interview for the vacant head coaching position in Jacksonville.
Brother to brother and teammate to teammate, just to make sure, if there's anything on his mind that, can go across. I had a chance to go through some, and I've, through the years, interviewed a lot of people. So I thought if there was a chance just to pass that along to someone else, it's totally worth doing. And one day, years from now, when he's a head coach, and doing his thing, he'll be able to pass along that too.
How about that? And congratulations to Dak Prescott, who was named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week following his performance in the season finale against the Philadelphia Eagles. That's where he threw 5 touchdown passes and passed Tony Romo's record of 36 for the most touchdowns thrown in a single season way back in 2007. Prescott beat it with 37. He now becomes the first Cowboys quarterback to ever be named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week 3 times in a single season. And look what AT&T Stadium is tweeting now tonight. They want Cowboy fans to wear white for a giant whiteout for the first round of the playoffs. And the cheapest ticket right now for the Cowboys-Niners playoff game in AT&T Stadium is standing room only for $250. What does the future hold for Houston next?
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
After going 4-13 this past season, the Houston Texans have a number of off-season priorities that include getting ready for the draft when they select the number 3 overall pick. What to do about Deshaun Watson? Is Davis Mills the quarterback of the Texans' future? And should David Culley stay as a head coach? As of now, Culley says he hasn't been told anything different. But what would the players say if he was sacked after just his first year?
You can talk to a guy who's been traded a lot, so it's a business. So, at the end of the day, that's what I would say. But, he's a great coach. Like I say, he meant well to us this year and had a lot of energy and did a lot of positive things. But, as we all know in this business, things happen. And you would think if they were going to fire Culley, they'd already done it by now, but stranger things have happened in Houston, haven't they?
That's what I was going to say. We are talking about the Houston Texans
exactly.
here. Thanks, Greg.
We'll find out soon. We'll be right back.
That's it for the Night Beat. Don't forget, Good Morning San Antonio starts at 4:30.
Thank you for choosing us, and have a wonderful night. Stay warm.